The 2024 U.S. presidential election saw the return of Donald Trump to the White House. His victory was a defining moment in American politics, signaling a dramatic shift back to the policies that characterized his first term. This victory marked a resurgence of his signature America First doctrine, a policy framework that has both fervent supporters and vocal critics. This approach prioritizes American interests above all else, often at the expense of traditional alliances and global cooperation. It has sent ripples across, ushering in a period of uncertainty and readjustment in international relations. Countries are now re-evaluating their strategies and policies in response to this shift. From trade wars to shifting geopolitical alliances, the world is grappling with the implications of Trump's second act. The stakes are higher than ever as nations navigate this new landscape. The tenets of America First are not new. They have roots in Trump's initial campaign and presidency. Trump first introduced them during his 2016 campaign, promising to bring jobs back to America and renegotiate trade deals. The core principle is a reassertion of American sovereignty, a call to put American interests first in every decision. It emphasizes a transactional approach to foreign policy, where every deal and agreement is scrutinized for its direct benefit to the United States. This means prioritizing American interests in every negotiation, often leading to contentious discussions with allies and adversaries alike. Allies are expected to contribute more to shared security arrangements, reducing the financial burden on the United States. Trade deals are scrutinized for their benefit to American workers, with a focus on bringing manufacturing jobs back to the U.S. This approach has generated both support and criticism. Supporters see it as a necessary step to protect American jobs and industries. Proponents argue that it is a necessary corrective, a way to restore American strength in a world that has taken advantage of U.S. generosity. They believe it restores American strength in a world that has taken advantage of U.S. generosity, ensuring that America is no longer the world's policeman without adequate compensation. Critics, however, worry about the long-term consequences. They argue that this inward focus could isolate the U.S. from its allies. They fear a retreat from global leadership could create a vacuum, potentially leading to increased instability and conflict. This could embolden rivals and leave the world more unstable, as power dynamics shift and new alliances form. The return of Trump to the White House has reignited these debates, with both sides passionately defending their views. World leaders are watching closely, trying to gauge how this renewed America First policy will impact their own countries. They are trying to decipher what this means for their own countries. The stakes are high and the global community is on edge. Trump's decisions on trade, defense, and diplomacy will have profound and lasting global repercussions, shaping the future of international relations. The world holds its breath, waiting to see how this new chapter in American politics will unfold. A new era has begun, one that promises to redefine America's role on the global stage. Trump's America First approach has manifested most visibly in his trade policies. This approach is not just a slogan, but a fundamental shift in how the United States engages with the rest of the world economically. He views global trade through a protectionist lens, believing that the U.S. has been taken advantage of for far too long. He believes that multilateral trade deals have disadvantaged American workers. His answer is tariffs, which he sees as a tool to level the playing field. These are taxes on imported goods, designed to make foreign products more expensive and less attractive to American consumers. One of Trump's first acts upon re-entering the White House was to escalate the trade war with China, a country he views as a major economic rival. He imposed a new round of tariffs on Chinese goods, targeting key industries to pressure China into trade concessions. These tariffs targeted a wide range of products, from electronics to clothing, affecting both businesses and consumers. This action sent shockwaves through the global economy, causing stock markets to tumble and creating uncertainty in international trade. It signaled a hardening of Trump's stance on trade, making it clear that he was willing to take drastic measures to protect American interests. The European Union, too, has found itself in the crosshairs of Trump's trade policy, facing threats of tariffs and trade restrictions. Trump has threatened to impose tariffs on European automobiles, a move that could have significant repercussions for the European economy. He views the European trade bloc as a competitor, one that has benefited at the expense of American workers and industries. He believes it takes advantage of the United States, and he is determined to change that dynamic. The potential for a transatlantic trade war is a significant concern for European leaders, who are wary of the economic fallout. These actions reflect a broader trend towards economic nationalism, where countries prioritize their own economic interests over global cooperation. This trend is visible in other parts of the world as well, with countries increasingly adopting protectionist policies. Countries are increasingly prioritizing their own economic interests, often at the expense of international trade agreements. They are less willing to make concessions in international trade negotiations, leading to more contentious and protracted discussions. The result is a more fragmented global trading system, where cooperation is harder to achieve and conflicts are more likely to arise. This system is characterized by uncertainty and the potential for conflict, making it difficult for businesses to plan for the future. The full impact of Trump's trade policies remains to be seen, but they have already reshaped the global economic landscape. However, what is clear is that the rules of the game are changing, and countries must adapt to this new reality. The era of free trade and globalization is giving way to a new era, one defined by economic nationalism and protectionism. This era is defined by economic nationalism, where countries are more focused on self-reliance and protecting their own industries. It is an era where countries are more likely to engage in trade disputes, leading to a more volatile and unpredictable global economy. The world needs to prepare for a bumpier, more contentious economic future, where cooperation is harder to come by and conflicts are more frequent. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, has been a cornerstone of Western security for decades, providing a collective defense mechanism that has deterred aggression and maintained peace in Europe. The alliance, formed in the aftermath of World War II, is based on the principle of collective defense, enshrined in Article 5 of the NATO Treaty. This means that an attack on one member is considered an attack on all, a principle that has only been invoked once, after the September 11th attacks in the United States. Trump's relationship with NATO has been tumultuous, to say the least, marked by frequent criticisms and demands for change. He has repeatedly questioned the value of the alliance, suggesting that it is outdated and that other members are not pulling their weight. He argues that the United States contributes disproportionately to its defense, both financially and militarily, and that this imbalance is unfair to American taxpayers. He has also criticized NATO members for not spending enough on their own militaries, urging them to meet the agreed-upon defense spending target of 2% of their GDP. During his first presidency, Trump shocked allies by suggesting that the U.S. might not come to the defense of NATO members if they were attacked, unless they had fulfilled their financial obligations. This call for NATO members to pay their fair share has caused considerable anxiety within the alliance, leading to tense discussions and uncertainty about the future. It has raised questions about the future of transatlantic security cooperation and whether the alliance can remain united in the face of such internal pressures. European leaders are now apprehensive about what Trump's second term will mean for NATO, fearing further destabilization and a potential weakening of the alliance. Will he continue to undermine the alliance from within, pushing for more drastic changes and questioning its very existence? Or will he moderate his stance, recognizing the strategic importance of NATO in maintaining global security and stability? The answers to these questions will have profound implications for European security, determining how the continent prepares for future threats and challenges. They will also shape the global balance of power, influencing international relations and the strategic landscape for years to come. The relationship between the United States and China is arguably the most consequential bilateral relationship in the world today. It is a relationship fraught with complexity. The two countries are at once strategic competitors and economic partners. They are vying for influence on the global stage. Trump's approach to China has been characterized by confrontation. He views China as a strategic rival. He believes that China has taken advantage of the United States economically. This belief has fueled the ongoing trade war between the two countries. Beyond trade, Trump has taken a hard line on a range of issues important to China, including Taiwan, Hong Kong, and the South China Sea. He has approved arms sales to Taiwan, criticized China's crackdown on pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong, and challenged China's territorial claims in the South China Sea. These actions have exacerbated tensions between the two superpowers. The risk of miscalculation and conflict has increased. The world watches nervously as the two giants engage in a delicate dance. The outcome of this dance will determine the future of the international order. Section 5. The Ukrainian Conundrum, a test of American resolve. The war in Ukraine, sparked by Russia's invasion in 2022, has presented a major foreign policy challenge for the United States and its allies. The conflict has raised questions about the future of European security. It has also tested the resolve of the West in confronting Russian aggression. Trump's stance on Ukraine has been ambivalent at best. He has expressed admiration for Russian President Vladimir Putin. He has also questioned the wisdom of providing continued military aid to Ukraine. This has created uncertainty among Ukrainian leaders who are relying heavily on U.S. support. The international community is watching closely to see how Trump will approach the conflict in his second term. Will he continue to provide support to Ukraine, or will he seek accommodation with Russia? The answers to these questions will have a major impact on the future of Ukraine. They will also shape the security architecture of Europe for years to come. Under Trump's administration, a hard line was redrawn in many aspects of domestic and foreign policy. His approach was often characterized by an uncompromising stance, whether it was on immigration, trade, or national security. This rigid posture reshaped America's interactions on the global stage, creating both supporters and detractors. The Trump era also saw a renewed focus on the concept of the unfettered frontier. This was a time marked by a push for deregulation and an emphasis on American independence. The administration sought to break free from what it perceived as unnecessary constraints, aiming to unleash the full potential of the American economy and reinforce the nation's sovereignty. One of the most significant shifts during Trump's time in office was a step back from global commitments. The administration prioritized an America First policy, often pulling back from international agreements and alliances. This move was seen as a way to reassert national interests, though it also raised questions about the future of global cooperation and America's role in the world. As we look forward, the legacy of Trump's second act leaves an uncertain future. His policies and actions have undeniably left a lasting impact, shaping the political and social landscape in profound ways. The question remains, how will these changes influence the path America takes in the years to come? Only time will tell.